Okay, back out of the shower again, and I want to talk about a movie that I just saw last night. Um, the Artist is a movie about silent movie making that is actually presented as a silent movie that would have been common in the 1920s. Um, I'm not terribly familiar about who's in it. I mean, I know I know who is in it, but I don't want to pronounce anybody's names wrong, which I know I might do if I attempted. So, um, the story is about this man who's a silent movie star who meets up with a woman who's sort of a fangirl and also aspiring to be a star. And this is right when the silent movie era was ending and the um, verbal movies, or talkies as they were called, started to rise in popularity, and thus silent movie making was just kind of dead. Um, Now, a lot of actors did adapt to the talkies well, like Charlie Chaplin and the Three Stooges, but this is the first film, at least that I know of, to show a silent movie star who just couldn't adapt. Like, I had one in my head a second ago, but it seemed to have slipped out. Um, it was a really big deal, and I'm really glad that this movie shows it the way it does. As far as the story goes, sorry, it's on my lap as you can tell. As far as the story goes, it's kind of, I don't want to say formulaic, but it's about a stubborn guy and an energetic gal who you know form sort of a relationship over the course of the film. Um, Now, I know full well that this movie has been out in America for like a yonk, and but here's the thing: I've wanted to see this movie for the last 4 yonks, so I'm going to review it. And if you have a problem with it, then cover your ears and pretend I'm reviewing The Woman in Black or something. Um, so what is my thoughts? I really enjoyed it. I know that that's not exactly a shock, considering everybody's just saying immensely positive things about this movie, but it really is. It is a really, really, really good movie. I think where this movie soars, there's two places where this movie just excels, and that's the acting and the music. Um, as a silent movie, the actors don't deliver any dialogue. Well, I'm not going to say, but they don't deliver any dialogue, and it's all based on their movements, their body language, and most importantly, their facial expressions. And they really, really sell it. I don't. Again, I'm not really sure who the two main leads are, but they are so good. Like just every single shot of their face, you immediately understand what's going on with them and what they're feeling, and it's really, really good. And the musical score. Again, if you didn't know that this movie was made in 2011, you would have assumed that the score was taken from a movie from the 1920s. The score is so good and so prominent; it perfectly captures the mood of each scene, and I don't know, it's good. Other than that, if you're looking for any big criticisms, I there was a point in the middle where it kind of drags on. Well, I shouldn't say that, but there's a point where nothing really is happening per se. So there's that, and you could say it's kind of formulaic, but I wouldn't count that as a criticism. Um, it There is no way to escape product placement nowadays, just because uh, there's actually Coke adverts in the movie. Of course, that was back in the day that Coke was actually putting real Coke in their drinks. So I don't know. Other than that, yeah, there's just really, really not much else to say. It's a very, very, very good film. Oh, I got to make special mention to the ending. God, that was a good ending. That was one of the best endings I think I've seen to a film recently. really, really like that. Particularly like yeah, that was a really, really like that ending. Um, Other than that, I was kind of sort of weirded out by the fact that like as the movie goes on, it takes place from like 1927 to 1931 ish, something like that. And what I thought would happen is that as the talkies became more prominent, people would start to speak, but the actors who are more who like silent films, they would stop speaking and or well, not, they would continue to not speak, and title cards would still play. Um, but I don't know. I'm just nitpicking at that point. It is a really really good film, and I highly recommend you see it. I'm a little bit upset that I didn't see it before this because uh, it's a it's a pain to see cultured movies in my town. But um, yeah, if I saw this in 2011, it would definitely be on my top 10 best of the year. Um, One thing that this movie kind of strikes me is that 2011 was definitely the year for like old school feeling movies, because not only like The Artist, we also had Hugo, which 1930s, War Horse, which aside from like the technicality was essentially a 1970s movie, Drive, 1980s, Midnight in Paris, also 1970s, although that's more Woody Allen more than Steven Spielberg. But I don't know. I'm rambling at that point. Um, like pretty much everybody else, I would highly recommend seeing The Artist. It is fantastic. Until next time.